little can here, if it could talk, it would say, "I'm a smoker." And it's not gonna hurt this can at all to be a smoker. But I hope you're not a smoker, because that's not very helpful. But for this little can, it does us a whole lot of good for it to be a smoker, because we're going to work with some honeybees. And not exactly professional at this, but basically you want a nice cool white smoke coming out of it. Once we get the fire going good. And this smoke will help the bees to be calm. It will also be able to make the bees go where we want them to go, because they don't like breathing smoke, so they'll go away from the smoke. You don't want to use too much smoke, and you want to use it just at the right time, just in the right direction. And once this fire gets going good, then I'll put some more smoker fuel on it, which the smoker fuel that produces good smoke is rotten wood. So we're going to go find a little piece of rotten wood. So I'll get some smoker fuel in this. Just a rotten piece of wood here. Careful, son. It's not as dry as I'd like because it's been raining a lot. Have to gather some, have it stored away for this use. Not right yet. Almost. I'm going to put some smoker fuel on there. So when we approach the hive, we want to come to the side of it. Don't go into the front of it, because the bees are coming and going, and it might kind of they might feel like we're blocking their entrance to the hive, and then they'll kind of get upset. So we'll come to the side and pull the top off this nuke box and see what we can see here. Hello bees, good morning. We're just going to put you in your little home now. So, here's an empty hive body. Here's an entrance reducer. We'll put it small because we want the bees to have their entrance reduced, because their numbers are few right now when they're a nuke, and so they don't have as many guard bees to keep to protect their hive. So I'll put two little foundations in there and get my hive tool, smoke it a little bit more.
A nuke of bees is basically a miniature hive with a queen bee that is already laying eggs and a couple of frames that will already have brood as well as honey in them. James is going to use the smoker to distract the bees and get their focus off of him. Alright, as you can see, James is taking a pretty close look at these honeybees, a little too close for some people's comfort. He is looking for their queen. Sometimes they like to crowd around in a circle and keep the queen safe that way. So he's blowing on them a little bit to spread them out and see if he can find her.
Oh, she's got new eggs down in the bottom of the cells. Okay, where is the one to come up and sting?
Well, he hasn't found her yet, but she'll turn up. Just keep looking.
Slow it out really slowly. Here's a bunch of brood. Some uncapped, some capped. Some new eggs. Looks like a healthy colony.
And there she is, Queen Bee. Might be hard to recognize her at first. She has a longer abdomen than the other bees. She's kind of crawling in between and underneath them. You can see James' finger pointing at him, and looky there, he's got a little bee crawling around on his finger. They're not trying to sting him, they're just docile and happy to be home.
There'll be some more brood over here. Oh, this is beautiful. This
James is finishing up putting all the frames in with the bees now that he has all the bees in the box, and we're about to go get the bee tea that we made and give them something to eat.
Okay, that's what it looks like. Now, we'll take our little, this is our feeder, set it on top. I should probably scrape away some of our wax here. Burr comb, they call this. And it's good to save the burr comb because you can render wax out of it, and wax pays a pretty good price these days. You can also make all sorts of things out of it. You can make candles to light your homestead, wax your skis, and fly down the hills in the wintertime. Holds more than most feeders do. The bees can freely crawl up between these boards from the top of their hive and reach the sugar syrup on either side. And then these will set on top of the syrup. I'll go ahead and pour some in.
To make this bee tea, you pour 6 cups of very hot water and 2 cups of thyme or chamomile tea onto a mixture of 16 cups of sugar and 1 teaspoon of unfiltered sea salt.
These little boards they float on top, will allow the bees to eat the syrup through it, but it will prevent them from getting drowned in the syrup. So what we have is a lid to stick on. I guess I left it down on the four-wheeler. I don't have 4 telescoping lids because we have these other hives, and since these are stronger nukes, I'm going to just use these lids for these bees. So there we go.
All right, now that the bees are safe and sound, let's take a quick look inside and see what they've been doing.
So there's a little chain right there of bees. Those are young bees that are hooking together and fixing to make wax. They hang like that for hours and hours and hours till little flakes of wax start to form on their abdomens. And then they fall down and or are gathered up by other bees, and they form them into honeycomb. Can you see? Can you see how all their noses are facing this way? Means they're fixing to come buzz up here and give me a sting. So I got it. There is honey, capped honey, and this in here is brood, or young bees that will be hatching.